guess we can start off. I know for my followers, if you guys can let us know exactly what it is that you do.
I'm Stephanie Nicole. I am out in Richmond, Virginia. I'm a real estate investor and a licensed agent, and I'm just here to answer questions and add value.
And what up, y'all? My name is Gardy. I'm here in New York, wholesale and investor. If you have a deal in Cleveland, actually anywhere in Ohio, you need any help with JVs, contractors, how to be able to put the deal together, how to be able to syndicate it, feel free to shoot me a DM and I can help you out.
All right. Yes, I know I'm going to be have my DMs going with my questions outside of
No
this
doubt.
too.
You can send it to us. You can
My
send it to us.
notepads too. I'm taking my notes as well. Yeah. So I guess we could get started with our this or that game. I always like to start with that just to kind of break the ice and getting to know each other.
Okay.
Of course.
Alrighty, so I'll start off with the first one is wholesaling or fix and flip.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say wholesaling.
I'm also gonna say wholesaling. I like it just because it's less work and you still can kind of make the same amount of money, especially if you can do more deals.
Got you. Okay. I thought it was gonna be a mix and match, like one wholesale and then one fix and flipping.
We
Got you. Now, did you guys choose that because of the market today?
I'll let Stephanie answer
Okay.
that.
chose that because it's just a better technique. When you have to fix and flip, of course you can make money, but you're gonna have to go find contractors. It's gonna take you a little longer to get to your check, like 3 to 6 months typically.
Mm,
Um, then you could make a mistake and your money's already invested. With wholesaling, I like it more because it allows you more freedom. You have less liability, less risk. You don't have to actually take on or spend any money out of your own pocket. You don't have to actually go find any contractors. It's just simply getting connected to a motivated seller, and then connecting them with a buyer and making your fee in the meantime.
got you. One thing that really stood out to me that I love was using other people's money.
Yeah.
Righty, cool, cool. All right, so our next one is so music. Let's switch it up a little bit. Early 2000s rap or 90s rap. If you don't listen to rap, you can put a twist on it with R&B.
Oh man, son. I gotta go with 90s rap. I'm kind of stuck in my ways with music,
Okay.
so I'm definitely going with 90s
And I'm
rap.
gonna say 90s rap too. I know we like almost alike, Gardy.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. I'm
We're gonna
stuck in
say
my
that's just
ways.
too much.
I remember um I grew up on listening to heavy like Jada Kiss, DMX, The Locks. Like that was kind of
Mm,
what I got put on to when I was early, when I was coming up. So yeah, that's definitely what I'm stuck with.
gotcha, gotcha. Stephanie, do you have any artists, favorite artists during that time?
Me and Gardy got like the same musical taste, kind of.
Too.
So
Okay, got you. Well, I can chime in with this one. So I'm more of an R&B girl. I'm also stuck in the early 2000s. I don't really listen to today's music as much. You get in the car with me, definitely early 2000 R&B.
yeah.
Yes. Alrighty. So our next one. So loan types. FHA loans or conventional loans?
Um, I just say go with whatever one is best for your situation. I don't have a real favorite. I do like the FHA because it's going to allow you to come to the table with less money as a first time home buyer. And they have a lot more programs that, kind of help you get into a house with, if you, I don't want to say like the wrong thing. It helps you get into a house with less money if you just don't have the money. Like if you don't have 20%, you can use FHA to get
Mm-hmm.
3.5% down. I in this market right now, I will say because it's multiple offers, I prefer conventional if I have a buyer just because it's going to be easier for them to go under contract. So with FHA, they're a little more tough when it comes to like appraisal repairs, and conventional is known to be more laid back. So when you're presenting an offer to a homeowner, they're more likely to lean towards conventional. But I like both.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'll probably lean more a bit towards conventional. If you're an investor and you're flipping a house, you're probably going to be more open to taking a conventional loan. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably leveraging hard money. That money has a cost. You either raise private money. That money has a cost. With if you're going to accept an FHA buyer, there's like a certain amount of time that the house has to sit on the market to be able to sell to that FHA buyer. So if somebody comes in with a conventional loan and you could get it done in 15 days, you'd probably be more open to accept that versus, an FHA. So from an investor standpoint, I would say conventional loan just because like the deal could move a little bit faster for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I've experienced both FHA and conventional, so both of which you just explained, it definitely was spot on with that. It was definitely the conventional loan I would choose that too. It's just a quicker, it seemed like an easygoing process. The FHA seemed to be picking about like the smallest repairs. Like, no, you got to get this repaired. So I would also choose that one. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I feel like they kind of want to, fight for the homeowner a bit. They want to encourage people. I feel like the American dream is to like own a home. Everybody should have like an equal opportunity to own a home. So they kind of want to make sure that if somebody is going to use FHA, they just want to make sure their stuff is straight.
Got you. Now, I do have a question for FHA. Can you buy multifamilies with FHA loans?
So when we get into like FHA, VHDA, VA loans, those are going to be, you can only get that type of loan if you're going to have it as your primary residence. So as long as you live in it, you can use FHA and buy up to 4 units. But
Okay. Okay. That's definitely something to
yeah,
know. I
I
know. Now,
know. We can talk about it when we get off the live now.
yes, yes. So, look, I'm telling you, I got my little notes. Like, okay. So a question I gotta ask. Cool. All right. So our next one would be: would you choose a home equity line of credit or a hard money lender?
Home equity line of credit or a hard money lender. Um, I guess for me to make that decision, I would have to see the deal and also, I mean, like the rates. Like what's the cost of the money? Um, yeah, home equity line or line of credit. I would have to see, like what's the cost of the money to be able to use it into for the deal.
Gotcha. So it definitely varies.
Yeah, I'm gonna say neither. Um, Once you start becoming educated in the real estate world, you understand that you don't have to always go the credit route or like the hard money route, because I feel like hard money is expensive money in my opinion. So my alternative to hard money would be I would attempt to go get a private money lender, because they're going to be more open to conversations. They're not going to have those hard deadlines. Most hard money lenders have guidelines. They have a company that they work for. They're looking for something specific. They want you to have a certain amount of equity, and you may come across something that needs a creative mind. So I just private money. That's just regular people out here who have retirement accounts or IRA accounts that they're just trying to grow,
Mhm.
that they can touch, or just people in general who have they earn a lot, but they also save a lot, but they also want their money to grow. So I like that alternative. And if you're trying to get really, really creative, I like stuff like subject to, where you take over, the other person's mortgage, or like seller financing, just because I think all the other options are so expensive.
Gotcha. I have heard some things about those hard money lenders, so I was really interested in finding out like which one would you guys choose? Just with like the time frames and stuff like that. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but using the hard money lenders, like you have like a strict time frame when you have to pay the money back.
Yeah,
You do. Mm-hmm.
you do. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or some draw more interest.
Mm, yeah, so I see why you would choose the other one. So our last one will be about traveling. Are you guys, I'm sorry. Let's see if this is the one I had. When traveling and going on vacations, would you be more of like an adventurous person, or just sticking to the resort?
I'm definitely more adventurous. I kind of want to get out, see like wherever I'm traveling at, see what they got to offer, and I'm more in favor of like seeing how like the people live and tapping in on the local side of it. I feel like just being on the resort is a bit one sided, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. So I feel like you get a better experience, or I like that experience of like as local as possible.
Okay.
For me, I just kind of go with the flow. So whatever's going on at the time, I can go with it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I guess it would depend on my mood. I do want to. I tend to whenever I go on vacation, I'm getting off the resort. I need to see what's
Yeah.
going on, and just to definitely sightsee.
Yeah, sometimes the resort is like it kind of make it inconvenient. It's like it's out the way, then you got to wait for the shuttle
Yeah.
or the bus, to
Mhm.
get there, and then it only comes on certain times, and it's like I don't know, it's just not my personality. So
Right, on that strict time schedule,
yeah,
on their schedule.
yeah, exactly. So
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, that wraps up our this or that questions. So the next question I have: what motivated you guys to get started with real estate?
man, I think what I saw in my family was growing up. We always like rented rooms, like inside of our house.
Okay.
And like my dad always taught me that this is like, another way for you to be able to make money to like offset certain bills in the house. So, that's kind of like what I saw. And that was kind of like my first taste of real estate. And that's something that I stuck with. Even when I was living in VA, me and my sister would live together. We would always like rent rooms out in the house as much as we can. And that'll go towards like utilities, internet, just stuff to be able to like actually run a household.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just taught like it's a good practice. Like you can still go out, get a job, or do whatever you can, but at least you have something coming in that's like actually making you money. So, and I kind of saw like I guess the potential of like what this could actually do, and then I started like going down a rabbit hole of like learning, other stuff past like what I kind of saw my parents trying to get into.
Okay. Those multiple streams of income is definitely good, especially in today's world. Ooh.
Yeah, for me, I would say just living a struggle life. I left home when I was like 17, 16, 17. Was just living house to house on the street sometimes. Sometimes I was sleeping in McDonald's. Went and joined the military. I just felt like the military was not the personality. Like I didn't have the personality type to fit in. So decided to, get out. Um, from there, it was just I was just working multiple jobs. Like I would sell stuff on the internet. I had a job at Rite Aid. I had a job at Bath and Body Works. I was waitressing at two places.
Mhm.
And then the moment where I was just like, this is enough is I had actually went in and went into the strip club because I was like, I'm just not making enough
Mhm.
money. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to live an average life or
Right.
have to worry about where I'm sleeping at or
Mhm.
if I have enough money for gas. I got enough food. Like I don't want to keep living this check to check life. So I was outside of the strip club, and this is a night too where it wasn't like a whole lot of money in the club, and I'm sitting here taking my top off for $1 bills, and I'm still going to have to figure
Right.
out how to pay my rent.
Mhm.
So I just pack up my stuff, go sit in my car, and I get on Google. And what I Googled was how to become a millionaire. And
Mhm.
the thing that kept coming up repeatedly was real estate. So at the time, I didn't know anything about real estate. Just went and got my real estate license because that's as far as I knew what to do.
Mhm.
Um, and then struggled my first year in real estate. So listen, it didn't come easy, but it came. So just I couldn't do it no more. That's what it
That
was. I was like, I'll
was
do
just dry.
anything else. Like,
Mhm.
God, just show me the way. I'll do whatever. I'll lay my life down on the line. Like, show me.
Right, right. Wow. And just to comment on the real estate, the schooling. So whenever I talk to people that are real estate realtors now, or just anything that has to do with real estate, they're like, man, the schooling is like, like taking the test, and it just, I do hear that a lot. So,
I would say that it depends on
okay.
you. I found the test to be fairly easy. I took the class
Okay.
online. I didn't even have the Virginia class. I was just like, gotta do what I gotta do.
Right.
Um, what I will say is everything that you take in that real estate course to get
Mhm.
your real estate license, you will never use any of that stuff again. You don't even need
Wow.
it. It's,
Wow. I feel like that's how it is with certain, when you go to college, like
yeah, you
you
don't
get
even
that degree, and man, I'm not really using
yeah,
this.
financing, learning like all this extra stuff that we're never gonna use anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that's a
Man,
perfect example. We learning. I don't even want to get into college.
gotcha. So real estate is basically more of like a boots on the ground. Like, all right, you can go and take this test, but you just got to really get things going and actually get out there in the field.
You don't even have to have a license to be like a real estate professional. That's what I was saying. Like I didn't know when I got in anything,
Okay.
so I just got my real estate license. But now that I'm actually in the business,
Hmm.
so many different avenues, and being a real estate agent is just one avenue. So you got people that are wholesaling, you got people who flip houses, you got everybody who services the real estate business, you got the contractors. A lot of the is just like the money that's made in America is made of real estate and just all of the businesses that need to service it.
Gotcha. Can definitely, even with like the rappers, right? And their songs, you're hearing a lot of more rappers talk about real estate within like the last few years. You hear that a lot too.
Hopefully they talk about it. We need to talk about it more because I feel like a lot of where we are is like a community and a nation is because we are not spreading. Well, now we're getting to spreading the information and opening people's minds, but I
Mhm.
think it's a lack of information and a lack of creativity and like just keeping your mind closed. So once the people whose minds are open start touching other people whose minds are open and we have the access to information just like
Right.
on the internet, I think everything will change.
Yeah. The right information.
Mhm.
So I know, social media can kind of, um, I won't point out people, but you get a lot of false information on there,
Yeah.
misleading. Yes. So okay, that was really good and dope to know.
Social media thing because I want to some of how we feel about the information we receive on social media
Hmm.
is um we have to take accountability for. So we'll see a 6 second reel or a 90-second reel and think that whatever's on that reel is all of the information. And when it's not all of the information, we think that this person's a scammer now because they couldn't in 6 seconds tell you how to do
Everything
it
to know.
strategy. They just want to make the first step is awareness.
Hmm.
We want to be aware of what's going on. So then that triggers you to do more research. People don't want to do the research and
Right.
find they see something about oh you can do the business credit. They don't go do more research. Then they try it and it fails. They
Right.
the person's a scammer when really you didn't have all
Yeah.
the information. You thought
Yeah.
you could get it
Right.
real.
Didn't do your own due diligence, right? Like you can't just like you said, it's a 6 minute, 6 second reel. There's no way you can get all the information.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on like, hey, okay, I seen this. Okay, let me go do my own due diligence and get
Mhm.
all the information. So you
Yeah.
can be ready and prepared. Yeah. So like, it's definitely a lot of good information though, for sure. Righty. Ooh, the next question. I'm excited about this one. So how do you manage if you guys have rental properties? And can you recommend like any websites just to a beginner or someone that's having trouble with managing rental properties?
I personally hire professionals. Like sometimes we be trying to be in the do everything and be everything to the business that our businesses fail. Like sometimes just go ahead, make sure you know that a property manager is going to charge you 10%. When you're doing your calculation and buying a deal, you put that 10% in there. So then you go get a property manager, take it out, and now you don't get that headache and you can go get another property. We want to concentrate on money making activities.
Right.
Me personally, that's my answer.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm a little bit. I guess I'm a little bit different. I would say manage like the first one that you have. I think I had some better experience with just dealing with tenants, around like money conversations, being able to fix stuff, knowing certain things in the house that needs to be fixed. You don't actually like have to know how to switch out a toilet or switch out a sink, but you want to be able to know like certain things that need to be in place. And one of the things I realized was that I was out of state managing it at the time, and they replaced like some things under my sink, and they chose like the cheapest material from Home Depot, and it was going to get clogged up, and it was like, yo, this is done. We're going to be able to keep it moving. So I would say, make sure that like, you actually know it and you can see it and you can learn. Because I feel like once you know it and you see it and you can learn it, then that's when like that information can't be taken away from you.
Right.
So for the first one, I'm in favor of like, yo, manage it yourself. When the tenant calls you, like, how do you handle that phone call? So now when you go out and then, you're growing your portfolio and now you're talking to other property managers, now you have some level of experience and you can kind of gauge that against them, So property managers are good. One thing that I started doing is, one thing I was taught was, always ask for references.
Yeah.
Always ask for references. One of the things that I realized is that people who do good business are connected to other people who do good business. So that property manager should have a lender. That property manager should have a reference for a contractor, right? And once you hear some people's names come up a few times, oh, Stephanie, she's a good realtor. She knows a lot of people. She can help you get the deal. Okay, Stephanie's somebody that I need in my network because she could point me in the right direction. But to answer your question, as far as like managing rental properties, I would say if you can, do the first one yourself, get the experience that you need so you can learn it. And then once you get that, then I would say like, all right, cool. Scale up, get the second one, and then, put somebody in place at that point.
I'm gonna let y'all know. Be careful doing that, especially if you got your property and one of your tenants stopped paying and you don't know the eviction process. Because I tried to evict one of my tenants, went to court. Come to find out, they got a new law that they just passed on January 1st, where you need to send them some type of paperwork or something.
Wow.
Now that's going to cost me money. So imagine being in a position where you're not set up to take over that extra payment because you got to pay for where you live at, and now your tenant's not. So now you got to pay for where they live at.
You got to be ready. That's a fact.
Yes.
I'm trying to
What's
tell
that?
you.
The reserves, right? They tell you to have. Make sure you.
That's what
Make sure you have that money. Yes.
It's my own properties the first time too. That's why I work with property managers. Go ahead. If them people ain't paying, get them up out of there.
No, that's right.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, we appreciating this. I love the real.
Yeah.
Gotta let us know.
Listen, if you don't pay your bills, I have to pay your bills.
Yes,
It's
fall back on you.
It's nothing. It's business.
Yes.
I can't pay other people's bills. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, that's right.
But if you got a good tenant, then I would say self-manage. But I'm just letting you know, if you are self-managing something that has a payment on it, make sure you know somebody who knows some things so they can walk you through it.
Ooh. I do have another question to piggyback off of that. When you guys talk about tenants, so what's that process like for you to kind of like, I know it's no good way to tell like you're really going to get a good tenant, but how do you narrow down the search?
I guess so. Like, I guess two things I got. One, you want to figure out, the type of area that you're actually renting in, and you kind of want to speak to, what type of tenant that you want. You want somebody that's going to stay, right? I tend people may disagree with this, but when I was looking for different types of tenants, I'll kind of put like certain things in my listing. So like if it's near a school, if it's near like a highway, MCV or whatever the case is, and then I would try to attract like a family. Just because like sometimes when you staying with roommates or you staying with your cousin and then y'all
Mm-hmm.
get into an argument and then it's like, well, I don't got my money or I don't got this, and most likely, or even with friends, it's easier to be able to like just go separate ways. But I feel like when it's a family that's actually renting, they want to get into a good school zone. When they come across like financial issues, I feel like a family is going to be a bit more like determined to figure out like, all right, how can we work this together? Like we got this, we got the kids, we got responsibilities.
Right.
They'll be a bit more driven, so to speak, to be able to like figure that out. So I would say when I was doing it, I would say look for a family. Mention like school zones and things like that, because more than likely they're not gonna want to like move and take their kids like out of school and put them in another school, stuff
Right.
like that. They tend to make those decisions when they have to transition to like different schools, like high school, or they're gonna go to a different middle school. So and another thing that I would look for is like consistent pay stubs, right? And just kind of pay attention, if it's full-time work, if it's part-time work, if it fluctuates, see what your rents are, see what's actually coming in, and then you can kind of like have a good judgment, like, yo, this person kind of only works 25, 30 hours a week.
Right.
It's not like that consistent. Can they actually like
Really afford it.
afford this
Mm-hmm.
afford this over time? So there's a lot of other things with with tenants, and I think you gotta really like just take your time and like really go with your gut sometimes
Right.
too. Like when people try to move too fast, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get in since like yesterday's, like what you really
Right.
running from,
Right.
So
Red flags.
yeah, certain stuff like that, you just got to be pay attention to your gut and see like, all right, what's the real reason why they're moving, what's their story, you know
Mm-hmm. Got you. Definitely look, taking more notes myself to weed out. That's really good. So the next question is, do you need a certain credit score to be eligible for home loans?
Yes. So it depends on where you are. If you are a first time home buyer who is buying a primary residence, I would suggest you having a 620 credit score. That's going to open up all of your options. That's going to open up your grant money. You're going to be eligible for whatever programs, down payment assistance they have going on. So it just opens your options. Now you can potentially buy a house with if you're a veteran, you can buy a house with a 540 credit score and still have no money down. But if you are anybody else and you try to purchase with a less than 20, you need a 580 credit score and you're going to have a down payment. You're not going to be able to qualify for like the grant money programs, down payment assistance and stuff.
Mm, okay, that's real good to know. So you said it's 620 for which loan is that again?
All of them. You just need a
All
six.
of them.
If you're
Okay.
a first time home buyer that is looking to buy their primary residence. If you're looking for investment property, I say have the strongest credit score that you can
Yep,
have.
Okay.
yep, yep, I agree with that too.
Gotcha. I have another question
All right.
with the loans, right? So I guess with down payment, no, is it down payments? Maybe it's that. Do you need more money for conventional loans? Um, is that the question? Yeah, I guess that would be. With FHA and conventional, do you have to put more money down for conventional loans?
Everybody's situation be
Okay.
different and everybody qualifies for different things. So you just got to fill out the application.
Okay, to see. Got you. With good credit. Well, good credit score, 620.
Bring 20
Got
credit score.
you. All right. So our next topic will be for business credit and business credit cards. So can you use business credit cards to purchase houses?
So you
So
can. I guess this gets into like a gray area a bit, because there's different ways to pull money off of credit cards. Some title companies allow you to use if they have a way, and this is going to be based off the title company. Sometimes they can process the down payment off of a credit card. Not every single title company could do that, but certain ones can. There's different, like there's different credit hacks to be able to, to liquidate money off of credit cards that you could actually use. So it can be done. I think you just have to know what you're doing, right? You have to know what you're doing. You have to be educated, and then you got to be smart with the money.
I'm not going to be a fan of using a credit card for. I just think that's if you can't find cash for the down payment, then it's so many other options if you're a real estate investor. Now, with the business credit play, if you can get access to large amounts of funding, then it starts to make a little bit more sense. Like an example would be, let's just say you get a credit card access to $100,000 in cash, and you find a house that's like $80,000. You're able to liquidate that entire credit card and buy that house in cash. There's a website that you can do it on, and then send it to the title company, buy that entire house in cash. The reason I like this a little bit more is because now you have an entire asset that you can cash flow. And then let's just say your worst case scenario, you done got into a situation you can't get the money back, and you got to let the card go. One, it's in a business, and then two, your house is not collateral for that credit card, so at least you still get to keep the asset, even though something happened with your credit. They may send you some stuff in the mail,
Yes.
but you still got that property, and that property is considered to be free and clear. So you still do some money moves with the property, but
Right.
the credit score. But you can't get into that position. And then what people don't tell you on the internet, that's why I say you can't get all your 6-second reel.
Right.
You have to service the debt, which means they got when you take that $100,000 off that credit card, even though it may be 0% interest, you got a monthly payment on there.
Yes.
So if you are somebody that is trying to do this and don't have, because they're thinking that because you can get the money from somebody else, you don't have to have any money out of pocket. You got to have a plan if you don't have money, because these people want their money every single month, and if you don't give them a payment, then all of a sudden you might get into a situation. So you got to think about all those things up front, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. There's a lot of things that factor into that too. I would say, like experience wise too, because a lot of times some people wake up with good credit and don't even realize it, and then now it's like you saw the 6-second reel is like, all right, cool, I can get this amount of money in funding, and then now it's like, all right, cool, well now I'm ready to go flip something, and it's like, hold on, you haven't even done it yet. And sometimes, man, when you go through some of these rehabs, it's like your budget actually like increases on the job. God forbid they open up a wall and then they realize that like there's more stuff behind it that needs to get fixed.
Hold on. Let me back up. So the technique that I personally would not flip a house with business credit or a business credit card. You just too many other options that are cheaper, safer, that's going to take that stress off your back. Because I'm trying to tell you, use that business credit and you get into a flip and the plumbing bad or something falls, you really going to start stressing out. And sometimes you'll get into that mindset of stress. So then that energy will mess your product up and put you behind because you never really thinking clearly. But the technique I'm talking about, if you buy an entire house with a credit card, you need that house to be a deal. And then how we're paying back the credit card, you gotta need good credit for this, y'all. So everything I'm telling you, you need good credit for it. You go get the bank to put a DSCR loan on it. You take that money, pay your credit cards, and then you will be able to recoup that monthly payment also that you was paying out. That's how you get your money back. So, and you get the property. This is a buy and hold technique. I personally, if you flipping, y'all build a relationship with somebody. It's people out here with money that's burning a hole through their pocket. You go to like anything where it's like events and conventions, and everybody in every state is meeting up. Y'all download the app Meetup. It's an app called Meetup. Start going to these meetups where they have 401ks. They're teaching you about how to invest with your 401k, or how to invest with your self-directed IRA, or how to invest with this extra money you got in your savings account. Those people are the people with money. We not going for the classes. We going to network with the people with
I
money.
got
Like, hey,
money.
you need,
Right.
to make you what you say you wanted to make 8% on your self-directed IRA.
Mhm.
I got the property that will pay us XYZ every month. Or I can give you 8% on your money, and you know that you can make 20% on that same money. So
Easy, yeah.
Mm.
listen, y'all, we trying to play Monopoly,
Yes.
okay? We not in business to keep flipping houses and letting everything fall through our hands just because we want the money for today.
Right. Not thinking for the future. Ooh. Then right now money. That's good. So we got okay. So I gotta download my. You said Meetup app.
Yep.
Meetups. Yeah,
Yep.
all the real estate meetups, all the wholesaler meetups. But if you need money, them people with the IRAs, if they doing an IRA class, a 401k class, a retirement class, an insurance class,
Mhm.
hit all them people up.
Got you. I do see some questions coming in here. I'll scroll up and see. Someone had a question. They asked, "What about 3.5% for down payment on investment properties?"
Um, the like the way I look at it is like, even if you're gonna use FHA, at the end of the day, buying a house is an investment. So no matter if it's an FHA, no matter if it's under like your LLC, you're buying a house that could actually make money. I'm an advocate of your first investment property needs to be a multifamily property. So no matter if you use FHA to get into it, or if
Mhm.
you have to use a conventional loan or hard money, but however you could get into it, whatever loan like suits your personal
Mhm.
situation, I would say use that as like your number one thing to be able to get into a house, to be able to get into a multi-family house.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna second all that information, but I would like to let everybody know that FHA is not an investment loan. That is for a primary residence that you have to live in, but you can use it to buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quad. So
Mm.
just unit and rent out the rest.
Right. Something I wish I did. I will say
It's
that.
okay. 'Cause your next property can be a multifamily, so it's never a mistake. It's just now you can move a little differently because you have the
Right.
information.
Right. Learning along the way. Let me see. Is there any more? Well, I'll scroll through. I got another question though. So this one is for fix and flipping. So I know just hearing you guys talk, I know it would vary. Um, but I guess if you can choose to kind of narrow it down with those vary. So would you do a full rehab or would you only fix what's needed when you're fixing flipping?
My gut feeling is that my opinion is about to be different from Stephanie.
Oh.
I, back when I was like a brand new investor, I probably wouldn't do a full rehab just because anything could happen. But I say do whatever will put some money in your pocket and make sense and is a deal that you can handle.
Yeah, yeah, this is true. I kind of want to get more on like the full rehab side, just because I mean, yes, a heavy lift, yes, a big project, but I feel like you're gonna learn
Oh,
so much.
struggle.
I feel like you're gonna learn so much, and I think I don't know. I feel like that hands-on experience is like is what's needed, and not to say do a full rehab so you can make a mistake. But I think what's practical is like if you're gonna take on a project, figure out how you could partner with somebody.
Yeah.
Partner with somebody that does this automatically, because somebody who's going through rehab projects one, two, three at a
Mhm.
time, they know how to put a deal together. So
Yeah.
if you say,
Okay.
look, I want to partner with you on this deal. I have like $10,000. Can you make that work? They're gonna figure out how to make $10,000 work into the deal to secure it, earnest money, down
Mhm.
payment, whatever it is. But if you could come with like, yo, I have this, right, to be able to participate in this deal. Can I get some experience? Can I shadow you? Can I like be a partner on
Mm.
paper so you could actually know like what the process is like?
This
So
one here.
um, I would say for a first full rehab, if you got to go like demo like to the studs and you putting up like literally everything, I would say partner with somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely partner with somebody. Don't go in there, you know, close minded. I mean, or just blind just cause some of these contractors, man, they know like when you're brand new, right? They know when you're brand new. They know who to play with, you know, and they know like, okay, cool, this guy's, you know, he's kind of brand new. I can kind of like squeeze his project in or her project in, and then I'm gonna go with this other investor. I'm gonna make sure that, you know, I get their stuff done because they're a bit more serious, you know. And a
Wow.
lot of times, like you can get all of this information, you can listen to all of this podcast stuff, but it's like the real sauce and the real experience comes through like once you get your first, like you got to go through your first run, your first project, your second project, and once you do that, you kind of like, you know, you get that confidence and you feel that weight, and now you know how to put like two contractors in one property to be able to get you a bid. Now you got somebody fighting to be able to give you a quote versus you being brand new. Yo, I need this quote and I'm chasing this person. You
Right.
know, a good deal is always going to get funded no matter what.
Yeah.
A good project is always going to get sold. You know, a house that's an actual deal is going to get sold quick like that. So, I'm an advocate like, yo, do the full rehab, get your experience, go through that learning curve, but partner with somebody to be able to get that.
Okay. Get somebody that's really seasoned. I heard a lot of horror stories about contractors running off with money and it was again just hearing it from a lot of people's first time fixing flipping. So I heard a lot of horror stories,
They
and I'm just like, okay,
you know how to.
yeah,
They be.
like I done got burnt for this, and when you hear those numbers, like you got what?
Yeah.
It can be discouraging, I'm sure.
Yo, some people freeze up, man, and it's real. You know, you could be in a project. Some of these projects just, you know, I mean, depending where you're at, but they're a couple $100,000. You know, so you're in a project, you know, 100, 150, and you have like a 40K loss. Some people give up. You know, some people say that, be like, yo,
That's enough
you
for
know what I'm
me.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
they
learned my
like that's it.
lesson.
This is too. This is like, you know what I'm saying. This is too crazy. So, you know, it's real out here.
Yeah, man, those stories. I took a step back myself. I will say that, just hearing certain stories, but still learning along the way. Alrighty. So our next question is, what advice would you give to someone looking to get started in real estate investing?
Advice number one: sign up in our bios to join our free classes that are coming up.
Yes.
And then what Gardy just said in a nutshell is you got to get started. Like you can't just always be searching the internet, reading up on stuff, you know, trying to jump in but backing out, or just not having action. Like we gotta put some action behind it. Like I feel like a lot of people will talk about like all of the books that they read, but the thing is, how many pages did you apply?
Right. Before it's just a thought or an idea. You're not actually acting on it.
So, yeah, if I could go back and start from the beginning, I don't know. I feel like times changed, man. We're in a different time.
We had a different
Yeah,
time.
we're in a different time. Information is accessible. I would really say, man, really one, make as much money as you can and make sure like your finances is in order. You know, so no matter if you're self-employed, you got a W-2 salary, I would say, you know, have all of that stuff in order, because what what ends up happening is that once you get past a few projects, some of these lenders, they're gonna start looking at like your experience, right? And then, you know, sometimes like, okay, cool, do you already have like a rental portfolio? I mean, or, you know, have you done certain things or what in certain projects? Like, what was the cost? What was the budget? What was the timeline? And if you could present that stuff in you know, some kind of way that like, yo, I got myself organized, I can send it to the lender. You know, it's kind of quick. You know, and they can see this stuff and they can see the comps. They're gonna start making decisions based off of that. You know, and to be able to get to that is you got to have like your stuff lined up. So, having your credit together, because it's going to be needed to get into the deal, fix and flip, FHA, hard money, whatever it is. And then if it's a buy and hold and you're going for a DSCR loan, they're going to look, most lenders for DSCR loans, they're going to make sure that enough rent is coming in. But they're also going to tap your credit score. And depending on the deal, certain lenders, the better your credit score, the more favorable the terms. So, having like your stuff together, organized, making as much money as you can, and having some actual like money to fall back on. I think that having that financial discipline and having that financial habits is going to translate into the business world. And if your personal stuff is together, then like your business stuff is going to be together, and I feel like that's going to allow you to be able to sustain certain things in business. So that's what I would say if somebody was getting started to looking to get started in real estate.
Okay. Now, we did have a question in here. This is a new feature. I'm fairly new with the questions for Instagram. So it says, can someone explain subject to deals and how they work? I'm not sure.
Stephanie got y'all.
Okay.
Two is when you make an offer to an owner to take over their existing mortgage. What I will say is you want to make sure that you use an attorney, because there may be some language inside of this person's mortgage where they're not supposed to like assign it, but if you use an attorney, they have a way around it. But it's essentially taking over someone else's mortgage and taking their terms and principal, instead of going to the bank and getting a loan or using your own cash. You're just basically, like, say you come across a house, they got $100,000 mortgage on there and their payment is $500 a month. You take all that over.
Okay. I'm just checking to see if we had more questions that I might have missed. I'm sorry. If y'all did have more questions, y'all can submit them here. All right. So my next question would be, what can we expect from you guys in the future?
We're gonna have these weekly classes coming up. We're working on some stuff in the back end to be able to put, a community together. So, tap the link in our bios to be able to register for that stuff, so you guys could, know what's coming up. And that's, like what me and Stephanie's working on, just to be able to provide as much value to people, as we can, and to be able to help, as many people who just wants to build wealth. That's the reason why we do. That's the reason why we do what we do.
Yeah, because listen, the more money y'all make, the more money y'all gonna spend buying houses from me and Gardy.
Okay, I know that's right. Yes. Oh, that was good. Well, I want to personally thank you guys for coming on and just sharing all of this great information. Again, I was a sponge soaking all of this up to help with my real estate journey. So I truly appreciate it.
No, of course. Glad to have you on. I guess, tell us about like why you got started with what you're doing.
So I got started. One of my friends talked me into it. I'll start that out. Just off of our conversation, he would always say, like, you'll be good. You should just come on, get on board with the podcast thing. And I'm just like, I don't really know. I'm like, I wouldn't say antisocial. I'm more of an introvert. Okay. So I'm like, you sure you think I'm good for that? So I'm just like, at the point in my life, I was going through a lot of things. I'm experiencing a lot of traumatic events. So I'm just like, okay, at this point, why not? Why not? And he always said, make sure you use it as an outlet. I've been using it as an outlet ever since. And I'm just like, damn, I would call him every now and then, like, yo, you were so right. Like, this is a great outlet for me. Something new. Yes, I get to connect with people, like everyone from all over. New York, you said Virginia. I had other guests too. So it's really a joy. That's how it got started.
Yeah, we're going to need to have you on ours so we can ask you some questions.
Yes.
What's going on in your life.
Right, what's really going on, right? Yes, I'll definitely come on, for sure. Do we have? I'm sorry, we did have another question. It
But we still got some.
says, yes, is Section 8 a good investment strategy?
Oh man, this is such a very good question. Just because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of point of views that come up. I'm in favor for Section 8. You know, just because it's guaranteed money. I did have some losses, you know, that I learned from.
Lord.
Yeah, with tenants not paying,
Oh,
and you know, it's I mean, you know, some people view Section 8 as like bad, you know, like, oh, the tenant's gonna tear up your property, they
The
don't
first
care,
one.
they're living on government assistance, all kind of stuff like
Hmm.
that. But that's not everybody. You know, that's not everybody. And there's also different types of government assistance that's out there. You know, people pay for housing through different stuff, disability to
Hmm.
from like veteran housings, things like that.
Right. Hmm.
But people do build wealth off of like the assistance from the government. So Section 8 is good, it's solid. Section 8 sometimes pays a little bit more depending on like the market that you're in. It could pay more for market rent. And also people who are on Section 8, they're on Section 8 for a reason, and they don't want to lose their Section 8,
Right.
right? So it's
Hmm.
not the fact that they're going to tear up your property, but more people are inclined, if they need it for a reason, and they want to make sure that they keep it. So, and you know, when you're having a rental property and then your tenant stops paying you, and then you know you still got to cover the mortgage, you still got to cover the repairs, and you're not making money, it puts you in a tight spot, you know. And I lost out on like 7 months of rent, and I was like, yo, my next time, son, we going on Section 8. Like
Right.
it's not even gonna be a thought, you
Seems more
know.
secure.
Yeah. So um, but there's ways, you know, to be able to go around to make sure like you protect your investment, right? Making sure you're doing the rehabs the right way, making sure you know you quote unquote, they call it like hardening your property, doing quality, you know, buying good deal, doing quality work. And people who see that, who need to be on Section 8, who need that government assistance, now you're providing a quality, you know, house for them. They're gonna want to take care of that. You know, they're gonna want to be able to take care of that. So I would definitely say Section 8 is a good strategy. I would always say get educated about it, and you know, so you can get the right information that you need. Don't sit on the information, but you know, execute. But yeah, Section 8, in my opinion, I'm standing on it. It's definitely a good strategy.
Sound like the way
Yeah,
to go.
without a doubt.
That was a good question.
yeah, I'm gonna double down on his answer. But if you are on this live and you are on Section 8 or you know somebody on Section 8, let them know that they can purchase a house using the Housing Choice Voucher through the NACA program. What is it? Look it up real quick. The Home Ownership through Public Housing Assistance Program. It may take you a little bit to, you know, jump through some hoops, but you're about to jump through hoops to own a home. So DM me if you are interested in learning more about that program. We may do a class on it.
Yes. Now, what is NECA? Is that like another type of loan or?
Oh, it's like a company that helps people buy affordable house, and they kind of like you don't have to pay closing costs, you don't have a down payment, but
Okay.
they have a lot of like requirements and qualifications, and you got to take classes and things. That you definitely got to take a
Hmm.
class, or they'll even accept you into the program. So, and that's for everybody, realtors included.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think that was all of the questions. Box. Oh, yep, that was the last question. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys again for joining me tonight
Of
on a
course,
Friday
glad to be
night.
here.
Thank you for having us. Have a good night.
Yes, thanks you too. Have a good
No
one.
doubt. See you next time.